to Healthy Perspectives with Jeremiah, a podcast that brings you current social and cultural issues through a clinical lens. Hello. Thank you for joining us. If you are brand new to the show, hey, do me a favor, like, subscribe, follow, do that stuff. That's important stuff. That helps us keep this thing going. And, hey, in all reality, even though this is free for you, which I very much want to keep it that way, it takes our time, energy, and resources. So please like, subscribe, follow, share it with friends and all that kind of stuff, because it's very important to keep us going. And with that, I was just looking at some of my analytics because I'm trying to learn how to do all this stuff still. And look, I've been doing this for a while, but there's always stuff to learn. And I want to tell you, it seems to me that I capture a fair audience when it comes to, the content. People talk about the content and they like the content. But our current culture doesn't allow them to stick around for very long. So I'm going to hit hard at the beginning for a while and see if maybe I can help encourage you to stick around for more than the 5 minutes or 10 minutes. Because in all reality, this show gets going better and better as we move through, because the content is very important. And today, with that, I want to tell you a little something. There's an old song. It goes, "The wheels on the bus go round and round, round and round, round and round." Yes, that today is what we are going to talk about, because we go in and out in the clinical world. I get in close to an issue, and then I step back and I look from a distance. And then I get in close to an issue, and then I step back and look from a distance. And the truth is, right now in our culture, the wheels on this bus are going round and round. We are hitting repeat over and over and over and over. Now, you all probably are looking at things going, what? Over and over. Yes, but if we step back and we look, 100%, it's going over and over and over. How does that happen? Look, we have people that are pushing agendas. One day it's going to be abortion. Another day it's going to be gun rights. Another day it's going to be SEL, ESG, education. Another day it's going to be, our foreign affairs have us in danger. And what they are looking for, I'm telling you right now, this is the secret. All right, this is like, it's not really a secret, but I'm going to tell you what it is. What they're looking for is that thing that captures your attention. They are looking for that thing that gets you emotionally stimulated, core of your brain, in that little space between your hands, the midbrain, where the emotion fires hot. They are trying to activate it. Why? Because if they can activate the emotion, they can get you to act and behave, and they can get you to do it in ways that you might not otherwise do it. So let's step back for a minute and let's take a look at what's actually going on here. Is there one issue to deal with? One. Now, some of you get really heated over a single issue. More power to you. But there's more than one issue. Is there two? No, there's more than two. Is there 3, 5, 10, 20? Look, I'm going to read you a list that I wrote down just as I was putting this together, because truth is, if you haven't done this kind of a thing, you're behind. You don't know what stimulates your emotional reactivity. You're manipulated more easily. Do you want to be manipulated? I don't. I would rather understand why I'm reacting to things. So I'm going to go through a short list, and I'm going to be real with you. This is not a big list. It's a short list. It may seem large, but it's a short list. And if we step back and we look at these things, I'm going to just read you the list real quick. Morality, economy, abortion, crime and justice, education, energy, environment, domestic affairs, like, the Constitution and laws, firearms, speech, healthcare, immigration, infrastructure, LGBTQAI plus, drugs, social welfare, veterans, like military folks, taxes, foreign affairs, national security, world order, the World Economic Forum, like NATO. This is a short list. This is a short list. And here's the problem. I read that list. I read it fast because I'm hitting you hard right here on purpose. Something in there triggered you. I'll go through it a little bit slower and we'll pick out a couple of things. When I say abortion, are you triggered? Because if you're triggered, guess what I get to do if I wanted to? And as a therapist, I know this stuff, and you need to know this stuff. If you are triggered by abortion, whether that's because you had one, you know somebody who had one, you're pro-life, you're, whatever. If you're triggered, I can manipulate your behavior. That sucks for you. If I say the word education and you're triggered because of banning books, because of LGBTQ rights in schools, because of whatever, fill in the blank, because public education is great, because public education sucks, like whatever, fill in your blank. If you're triggered, I can manipulate you. That's how it works. Firearms, gun violence. If you're triggered, I can manipulate you. Now, should you be emotionless? No, that's dumb. That goes against our design too. No, you should not be emotionless. But to know where you're triggered matters. If I say immigration and you scale that from 0 to 10, with 10, it's like super intense energy. Whether that's I'm pro-immigration or anti-immigration, but it's a 10, you better know that. Because if you go into every situation treating it like a 10, you are going to overreact and be manipulated. For instance, not too long ago, in the last week or so, I posted a video of a fight in Hollywood, California, or outside of Hollywood, California, at a school between some parents and what appeared to have been some Antifa. Antifa showed up because they knew they could trigger people. That's not cool. One, I mean, we shouldn't intentionally trigger people. But if you are vulnerable to being triggered and you know it, and you don't do anything to keep yourself in a good, safe, healthy position, I mean, that's on you too. So we can blame Antifa, but we also need to take accountability for yourself. Why? Because if you don't, the wheels on the bus are going to go round and round and round, and you're going to get sucked into the wheel well. They're just going to scoop you up and spit you out. And in between, you get harmed for their agenda. That's not cool. So as a therapist, one of the things that I do when I'm sitting in counseling with people is I will jump into an issue. Something like, we'll go with drugs. We'll jump into drugs, alcohol, drug abuse, family issues around drugs and alcohol, whatever. We jump into the issue. Eventually, maybe it might take 3, 4 sessions, 6 sessions. I mean, it depends on what somebody's working through, right? But then eventually what we do is, and periodically, we have to do this. We step back and we look at the whole dang bus. Why? Because if we're in there on one issue and we get sucked in to that issue emotionally, we are invested in that issue in every way. We're creating behavioral changing, emotional understanding and insight. But if we don't step back and look how it plays into the big picture, we miss things like support systems. We could sit there and look all day long at the addiction and completely miss support systems. Or how about distractors? Things like hobbies and habits. We could miss that. Why? Because we're looking at the addiction. We get in so close. that we miss so much. And that's a problem. So here's what I would suggest for you. Right here in the next 30 seconds or so, I'm going to give you a list. Now, if you're driving, don't do this. But if you're not driving and you got a pen and a paper, get that pen and paper ready. Write these down. Morality, economy, abortion, crime and justice, education, energy. Now, I know I'm going fast. If you have to hit that 30-second back button here in just a moment, do it. But capture these. Energy and environment, domestic affairs, things like the Constitution and law, civic duties like city council, firearms. All right, stay with me. Speech, freedom of speech, your First Amendment, your Second Amendment for gun rights. Do you even know what the Third Amendment is? You probably should check that out. That would be under domestic affairs. Healthcare, immigration, infrastructure. That would be like bridges and roads and highways and, electricity and stuff like that. LGBTQAI plus, drugs and alcohol, social welfare, like food stamps. We don't have food stamps anymore, but we've got food stamp cards. I don't know exactly what they call them. Veteran affairs, taxes, foreign affairs, national security, world order. Here's the reason why I slowed down. What I want you to do, and that's a short list, okay? If there's others, put them on there. Send me a note saying, dude, Jeremiah, you forgot this. It's super important content, right? Maybe I'll devote some specific time and energy to that if you do that, by the way. It could happen. I do that kind of stuff. But here's what I want you to do. Once you got them written down, prioritize them. Prioritize them based on the energy you experience when you think about those particular topics. Put them in an order. My top one is morality. I really, really am a moral person. Great. Put that at the top. When somebody talks to you about morality in any of these other issues, say like infrastructure. Well, we have a moral responsibility to provide, bus systems for people who can't afford to drive. Okay. There's an easy argument there. Prioritize them. Which ones trigger you the most? Know it so that when you end up in a situation where these are being poked at by somebody, you're not caught off guard. You're not surprised by your internal reaction. Because if you're surprised by your internal reaction, your external behaviors are not going to be good. Once you have them prioritized, here's my recommendation. Write out what's most important about those things to you. Write it out. Look, writing is a whole brain exercise. Typing, go for it, whatever. But the idea of putting it into words, articulating your narrative, that's a human process in the clinical world. We re-narrate things all the time. When somebody struggles to put empathy, if I've got somebody who's depressed and all they can see is the negative, 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 and I go, so nothing positive, huh? So tell me one thing. What are you grateful for with your relationship with your spouse? Well, right now, nothing, they'll say begrudgingly. But if poked and prodded and worked with in a loving, kind, safe environment, they might say something, well, I'm glad my spouse didn't get drunk last night. I'm like, hey, that's a good thing. Now let's look at another category. How about work? Well, there's nothing there either. Right? This is how it goes. We have to know what triggers us to know how to manage it. It's easy to get overwhelmed, and it's easy for them, the others, the outside, the world around you, the social issues, the cultural issues, to infiltrate your world and manipulate you if you don't know where you stand on these things. Look, you can change your mind. Changing your mind is reasonable. With new information, we create new narratives. That's normal. But if you remain naive to these things, you're going to be influenced by your culture. You're somebody that the culture can scoop up and spit out. You're going to get stuck in the wheel well as the wheels on the bus go round and round and round. So do me a favor, write this list, hit that back button a few times if you have to. I don't care, but get this ingrained into you. Where am I triggered? Why am I triggered? That will make a difference. That will help you be kind on social media. Why? Because you know you're triggered. You could be like, whoa, so I'm going to slow down here. I'm going to write it up because it pisses me off. But then I'm not going to hit the submit button. I'm going to wait. Just 5 minutes, I'm going to wait. Then I'm going to go back. I'm going to read it. I'm going to find my typos. Maybe. But what I'm really doing is making sure that I'm not overreacting and treating them like they are the problem. They might be the problem, but I also might be the problem. I hope this is helpful. Thanks for joining us. Please, again, like, subscribe, follow, go to our website. It's www.healthy-perspectives with an S at the end.com. Perspectives, just like it's written right here, right behind me. Healthy Perspectives with a dash in between, right about there. Healthyperspectives.com. You can do the /podcast if you want to go straight to our landing page. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you for listening. We hope you enjoyed the show. Take a look at the details of our podcast for links to our website and other helpful information.